What's up, guys? Welcome back to some more Senran Kagura Burst Renewal. We're just gonna jump right in things. If you guys be so kind as to press that thumbs up button and subscribe, it goes a really long way to help my channel out. And let's just jump right into it. Switch to a specified character and begin the mission. Sure, whatever. I gotta remember what the buttons are. I haven't played in a while. Hey ya! The sword's tip paints a straight line of silver. Heen, the sword I wield is a blade of superlative, I can't pronounce words, quality, an heirloom passed down in my family. I bear the weight of its long history. I return Heen to its sheath and let out a breath. My swings are starting to feel lackluster. My endless training is beginning to tire me. I cannot afford to cut corners in dealing with the heebie-jew. However, pushing myself when I am not at my best will avail me nothing. Indeed, it will only cause harm. It's too early for me to read, man. I return to the ninja room and sit quietly. I focus on settling my thoughts and breathing, then see to maintaining Heen. I lay Heen down and before it, then undo the rivet on the hilt to remove the hilt itself. I use paper and wipe the blade clean of oil and dirt a dozen times. Then I powder it from the metal collar at the hilt to the very tip. The proper care of a Japanese sword is the act of respect for one's ancestors, as well as means of sharpening the mind. It must be done with exquisite care, no matter how tired one may be. As I finish, Asuka and my other friends arrive. After exchanging morning greetings, she begins a lively conversation. Through the rigorous training that shortly follows, Asuka never once loses her bright and cheerful expression. In all honesty, her strength of will surprises me. No matter the pain or difficulty she faces, she greets it all with a smile. That is no mean feat. Okay, however it might sound. As a class representative, I take great pains to keep my classmates organized. But as Asuka seems to accomplish the same task without even thinking about it, and always with her trademark cheerfulness, it causes me to wonder if, perhaps, she might be better fit to lead the class than I am. As I lose myself in thoughts, Master Kira walks into the classroom. Today's lessons will involve genealogy. Predictably, Katsuguri raises her voice to complain. Family trees? Is there really time for that? We gotta train, don't we? Master lets out a sigh. Don't be hasty. Breaks are also a crucial aspect of training. Katsuguri reluctantly gives assent, then Hiyabari decides to speak. So what will we be doing with genealogy? You'll be making a shinobi family tree. See if you have any shinobi ancestors and learn what you might have inherited from them. That's what I want you to discover. But how far back should we go? Asuka raises her hand. From the earliest shinobi up to yourselves. Okay, got it. With that, Asuka leans forward and quickly puts pencil to paper. Just as quickly, she puts her pencil down and smiles jubilantly. Okay, I'm done. It's a family tree of 3 generations, her grandfather, mother, and herself. Her grandfather Hanzo is a famous shinobi. My mother is a shinobi like my grandpa. My father's a civilian, so he wasn't completely happy with me being a shinobi, but I want to be a strong one like Grandpa. Katsuguri and Yaguhu both write in silence. I've got too many to count, this sucks. Hiyabari moans in a typical childish fashion. She comes from a long line of shinobi. Given the sheer number of ancestors, I imagine it would be difficult to write them all down. What's wrong, Ikaruga? I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. You're not writing, Master Kira says, peering with intently at my hand. I've stopped working just when my family tree is almost finished. My apologies, I'll continue immediately. When I think of my family, my thoughts invariably drift to my older brother. He is studying business management, following in the footsteps of father. In truth, however, he wished to become a shinobi. I finished the family tree by writing my own name. It's simply a straight line from head of the family to me. My brother's name is not included. My name is where his would have been. Their time has not made it any less of a burden to bear, and my eyes begin to well. Oh, what's wrong, Ikaruga? Asuka has noticed my predicament. Oh, it's nothing. I force a smile. In such situations, I can smile with little effort. Lunchtime. There's a pleasant breeze, so we decide to eat outside. We spread a mat underneath a tree and set up a picnic. Yagu immediately begins eating her dried squid. Dried squid again? Do not make light of dry squid. As I listen to Hibari and Yagu exchange, I spread out a multi-course meal. Oh, look what I've gone and done. I realize I haven't yet set out the tea. I always make sure to have Japanese tea alongside the meal. I'll be right back. I go to retrieve the Japanese tea set from the ninja room. When I get there, I sense a presence. Who's there? I take a shuriken in hand, and moments later, a man stumbles out before me. Whoa, settle down. It's my brother. His hair is unkempt, his skin sickly pale. In the short time since I last saw him, he looks very unhealthy. Long time no see, little sis. He holds Hin in his hand. Mizumari. I don't know. What are you doing with Hin? What am I doing? What indeed? A cynical smile dances on his face as he speaks. This belongs to me. I'll do what I want. You're mistaken. Father and mother gave that to me. That's as far as I get before I close my mouth. Hold on. Getting that thumbnail pic. Father and mother, how dare you be so imprudent. I'll probably forget to use that as a thumbnail, honestly. His eyes darken with hatred. I find myself unable to meet his gaze. Yes, that's right. I wasn't given Hin, but this sword is a family heirloom. It has no business in the hands of an outsider to the bloodline. His words cut to the bone. He's right. Of course he is. I'm not my mother and father's child by birth. She's adopted. I was adopted to succeed them in the path of Shinobi. Hin is supposed to. It really was supposed to. He glares at me, grinding his teeth in anger. On the surface, a wealthy financial group beneath Shinobi. That is my family. Father had one child and he tried to send him down the path of Shinobi. Indeed, my brother had even wanted it. But my Mizumari failed the Hanzo entrance exam. Unfortunately, he had no aptitude as a shinobi. If you weren't around, he held Hin in his hand. When father heard of the distant relative who was unusually fleet on foot, I didn't see that because it's over his hand. He was quick to begin adoption process. Perhaps if I weren't around, father would have considered adoption and get out of here, Fortnite. Not everything's about you. And Mizumari wouldn't have been hurt. Thus my sorrow when looking at his family tree. It doesn't have my brother's name as it ought. Instead, there is my name, which doesn't belong. I am deeply sorry for the pain that it has caused him. If it would help, I would prostrate myself before him and apologize any number of times. But the passing down of Hin is another matter. Mother and father expressly told me, do not give Hin to anyone else. I'm sorry, please return Hin to me. My voice is lined with frost. If you want it, take it. Hin is already in my hand before Mizumari can finish his boastful command. He shakes his head in confusion and gasps as he realizes what has just transpired. Shit! His face bright red. He draws his chain shackled from inside his pocket. He begins swinging the weight into the chain. Mizumari, please stop this. When I was in elementary school, I played 6 in the local chain sickle tournament. The weighted chain flies and wraps around my body. There, how's that? Now you can't even move. Mizumari, I'm over here. What my brother had mistaken for me was actually an afterimage left behind by my swift movement. Please take care. I pull the rope that hangs from the ceiling. The floorboards beneath Mizumari drops and he falls. The very simple trap will lead him directly to the shopping district. Even he should have no trouble finding his way home from there. I hear a curse from the bottom of the hole. I pull the rope up a second time, the floorboards close, reverting to their normal pattern. I clench Hin tightly in my hand. A weighty wetness builds along my eyes. See, shit like that is why I like this game. Like, that level of, like, background character development that's really unnecessary for this game, but they do it, is honestly really nice. It's kind of cool how well they develop stuff. I have to take a drink. After reading all that, I blink at the sound of Asuka's voice. What's wrong? You've been gone a while. Oh, it's nothing. Now, back outside, shall we? I don't know. Public school, man. Wipe the tears. I surreptitiously wipe the tears before they can even fall. so as not to be noticed. Oh, hold on. Before we go back, please take a look at this. She brought out a family tree from her desk. Oh, it's not simply a family tree. It includes everyone in the Shinobi class all lined up like a family. Myself as the mother, Katsuguri as the father, then Asuka, Yagu, and Hiyabare as the children. The 5 of us are basically family, so I decided to write this up. I stare at the family tree as my vision blurs once again. It's okay to have my name listed here. And in my Shinobi class, I have another family. The tears flood generously down my cheeks. What? Ikaruga, what's wrong? Why are you crying? I no longer feel the need to hide my tears. Did something make you sad? Asuka looks quite flustered. I'm not sad at all. I make no move to wipe my face. Instead, I smile broadly. I'm crying because I'm happy. Thank you, Asuka. At my expression of gratitude, Asuka simply stares in bewilderment. Words hard. Honestly, this game would be like an hour long if I played through with skipping all the dialogue. Oh, today's training sure looked like took a lot out of me again, but I can't complain. I have to get stronger. I mean, honestly, it's like finished already. Like, I get this point to tell the story is how they have the dialogue, but like the dialogue to gameplay is ridiculous. Remora. What if I Hibaji? Is there another way not to? I know like the other games had a lot of dialogue in between, but this one feels like it's more dialogue than gameplay. Homura, just shut up and give me the super secret ninja art scroll, that is, unless you want an entire student body slaughtered. You'd really drag an instance to this? Why would you do something so awful? Awful, isn't it obvious? Shinobi are awful by nature. No, that's not the path of Shinobi. Alright then, why don't you explain it to me? It's, well, I don't really understand it either, not yet. But even if I don't know right now, I'll learn enough to tell somebody. I'm kind of debating whether when they talk in Japanese like this, just to let it go. Like, you guys read it, and then I will just read the parts where they don't speak. Because I can't read, because I went to public school in the United States. So, like, it's really hard for me to read. Plus, I don't read. I think I've read like 6 books my entire life. Alright, let's take him out. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've read, like, seriously though, I can actually tell you all the books I've read in my entire life. Now, not with comics or manga. I've read a shit ton of comics and manga. A lot of it. But, like, actual novels? That's a sad story, my friend. I've read... I hear my puppy whining because I'm not paying attention to him. Ain't that just pathetic? I know, buddy. So, I've read Star Wars Death Troopers. I actually read that in one, like, sitting. Like, I really like that book. A Crooked Little Veins, which is another one I really, really loved. I've read 1984. Let's not. Shoot, what button is it to run again? Circle. Take that. 1984. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Artemis Fowl, the first Hunger Games. What's the one? I can't remember even what it's called. Lord of the Flies. Lords of Salem. Ah, he missed. There's another one I'm forgetting. I want to say there better be more than this. I do like how they're all the same character designs as before. I still feel like I'm forgetting one. There's like this Demon Hunter book that I can't for the life of me. I still have it. I have to look at it on the shelf, but it's like something Demon Hunter. It's kind of like a samurai anthology story where this traveling demon hunter has to kill demons and stuff. It was really good. What else am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting one or two of them. Did I say Artemis Fowl? I read the first Artemis Fowl book. That's pretty cool. Oh crap. That's pretty sweet. Well, I should have saved all that stuff for these guys. Also, I looked. I don't think the collective scrolls really matter. But I'm trying to think if there's any actual novels I've read. I don't think so. I think it's it. I'd really want to get into Bizarro. Like, Bizarro is really interesting to me as a genre. I'd like to read some of that, but for the most part, like, novels, if you can't get me in the first, like, 25 pages to be interested, I don't really care. Oh, there was, I can't remember what it's called, but there was one, it was like Escape from Furnace or something like that I read, where this boy gets falsely accused, I think for murder, and he gets sent to this maximum security prison, and it's like legit insane. It's like some Wolfenstein shit. I feel like that's a thing, maybe? I don't know, my buddy Drew knows what I'm talking about, because he read it right after I did, after I was talking about it. I don't know, it's hard for me to get into books, like just novels. Like, I can read, like, the shittiest graphic novels or manga, even possible, like, no problem, but, like, if a novel doesn't get me, like, within 25 pages, I'm bored. And I think it's because, like, when I read a novel, my brain, like, it just starts imagining its own course for how the story's gonna go, and I just kind of ignore what the text is and make up my own story. Where, like, with a graphic novel or a manga, the pictures kind of retain my brain from not making up its own shit. I think that's what it is, honestly. It's like this weird form of, like, ADD or something that graphic novels and manga kind of help retain. Quit, bud. Puppy dog getting all up in the microphone. What, you want to say hi? Or I might read these because I'm faster than they are. One-on-one? Yeah, you and me, of course. Fine, let's do it. Someplace with a little more space. That way, you won't have to worry about your precious innocence. Where do you have in mind, then? See, don't you like my monotone reading better than their actual professional voice acting? A letter has all the places they want us to go. Guess we're really doing this now. I might have to put a treat in his Kong bone just to get him to settle. I figured he would, like, chill out. Like, he was up super late, we're up super early. I figured he would just be, like, snoozing all morning, but should have known better. Sibling feud. Also, you're unlocking the artwork. Oh, never mind. I know what it is. See, that was like 20 minutes just because of dialogue. Where are you? I came as you requested. Yomi. Well, well, if it isn't the princess, I must apologize for the meager accommodations. Excuse me. I suppose you must. No need to be so tense. This isn't a trap after all. I'm sure it's not. By the way, what a lovely outfit. It's very pretty. Do your parents buy you those? What are you trying to say? I'm sure you grew up with no end of love and affection, all cuddles and kisses and hugs and so on, never wanting for anything. Even if I had, what does it matter? Just make your whatever point you're driving at. I'm so sorry to inconvenience you, but I have come here to die, princess. But you have come here to die. It's a shame for you to meet your fate in such a lovely quarry, but the school's order is absolute. Understood. In that case, for justice sake, I will not abide you. Might be what I do. Put a treat in your Kong, buddy. My dog is now a part of every one of my videos and streams, so if you don't like it, sorry.